Hello, Aubrey. What's shaking?
Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
Hey, I'm happy to be on the mic today. Aubrey, has anything surprising happened to you recently?
Yes, I just got back from an amazing trip to Rocky Point. And before we left, we had seen that immigration laws were sort of changed, that now you have to provide your passport and an immigration
Mhm.
form. The Mexican consulate is requiring this. And so we expected to have like a long line, a long wait at the border. And we were getting there the Friday of ASU's spring break. So I would expect a long wait. But
Yeah.
surprisingly, I got to the border. There was no line. I was like, what gives? This is
Got right
not what I
through.
expected.
What
We went right
gives?
through with
You
no wait, and it was
nice.
the best trip to Mexico of my life. I had the
Wow.
experience that I hope all of you are having in English, where I was able to like make jokes. There were my friends wanted like a second massage on the beach, and I was good with one. So I went and found some vendors playing cards on the beach.
Yeah.
And in Spanish, I'm like asking them to teach me, and I started playing, and we're like making jokes. They were like telling me to play like cards that weren't worth anything. I was like, "Oh, basura," and they're like laughing. I'm like, "I'm funny in Spanish. I've
That's
made
so
this. I'm
fun.
so
Yeah, that's so fun. Those
happy."
moments of travel when you connect, especially with the language, are this is like
Yes.
euphoric, right? It's euphoric.
Yes.
It's
Oh, it's the
amazing.
best. I know a lot of you out there have shared with us your goals to be able to have those
Yes.
experiences to connect with local people on vacation. It's so fun. I love it. I can't wait for you guys to get there in English. So fun.
Yes, I love it. So good. And that's why we're here, right? Our show is based on human connection. Connection, not
Yes.
perfection, right? So that's why we want to recommend that you all hit the follow button right now so you don't miss a single episode of All Ears English, because that's how All Ears English was born, as an idea based on wanting to make those connections, right? As we
Yes.
travel, as we live abroad, we want to connect with everyone in the world and not be blocked by language, right? That's the
Absolutely.
idea.
We are right there with you. It is so and I
Mhm.
intentionally used when I was so surprised to not have to wait at the border, what
Yeah.
gives?
Yeah.
I say this a lot. It's like, what gives?
Yeah,
To mean
what
like,
gives?
what's going on? And
Yep.
there are so many other phrases we use to
Mhm.
say this, to get this meaning, this surprise across in
Yes.
English.
And I think this also came up in an episode too, Aubrey, right? One of us
Exactly.
said this in an episode. So clearly it's a natural expression. So that's the first one. So today we're going to show you ways you can express surprise in English. Yeah.
Yeah, we have 6
Um,
fun ones today. So
yeah.
let's get through these. The first one is what gives? Do you say
Yeah.
this, Lindsay? I say this a
Yeah.
lot.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. For example, I can't believe she's late again. What gives? Right. And it also
What
expresses
gives?
a little bit of
Frustration,
discontentment, right? Yeah. You're
annoyance, a little
frustrated.
bit.
You're annoyed. Yeah. Something's not quite right. Right.
Exactly, you're never gonna be like, "This cake is delicious, what gives?" No. It definitely has that connotation of irritation.
Sure. What's another example?
You might say, "You haven't heard back about the job yet? What gives?" Right? So I'm irritated for you, like, "I can't
Right.
believe you haven't heard yet back yet." It's frustrating.
Yes. I love it. So that is one really good option. And I like that one because it's a little less common, but there are other things we could say when we're truly surprised, Aubrey, right?
Absolutely. One
Um,
is, "What's up?" or "What's up
mhm.
with that?" You might say,
Mhm.
"He's always arguing with me. What's up with that?"
Yeah, what's up with that? Right? And I like your intonation there, right? What's up with that?
Up with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very emphatic, right? We might hear this on TV, right? Or just saying, "What's up? You seem upset." So here I'm actually starting a conversation with someone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So this definitely has a less of a connotation of surprise. You definitely could
Mhm.
share it if you're surprised about something like, "What's up with that? What's how
Yeah.
like I'm surprised about this." But it's tricky because we also use it just to mean what's going on, what's how like how are you? What's up?
Yeah. Yeah. So we
But
wanted to share that here,
yeah,
right?
it's tricky
Mhm.
because we also will say this to sort of see like I'm recognizing behavior in you that's unexpected. I'm a little surprised. I might be like, "What's up?" or "What's up with you? You seem upset
Yeah.
about something."
Yes, I love that. And another one we could say, Aubrey, what would be our third option?
Yeah, third is what is going on? So you might say, everyone really seems on edge today. What is going on?
And again, the emphasis, the intonation really matters. What is going on? Right?
Yeah, or maybe what is going on? We've tried 3 restaurants and they all had an hour wait. So
Oh,
really what you're saying is like, I am surprised and frustrated by this, but we have all these more fun ways to say that.
When I was in LA last weekend, I wanted to say that about sitting in traffic for 3 hours to go
What
20
is going
miles,
on?
but I knew to expect it, so it's okay. What
You
else
knew
do we
exactly
think
what
you were
was
gonna
going on. It's rush hour. People are trying to
Yeah,
drive home, but we still might,
of
even
course.
if we know what's causing it, we'll still be like, "What is going on?"
I mean, everyone knows the traffic's, it's crazy there, so that's okay. All right, what else? What is happening is a fourth option. My flight
Yeah.
has been delayed 3 times. What is happening? Okay.
Yeah, it's very similar to what is going on. Same meaning, same intonation, right? You might say,
Mhm.
"What is happening? Kids are being so mean to my daughter," right? You might be
Yeah.
sharing like a story with someone and you're kind of saying like what is happening with society in general, with kids these days. And
Yeah.
you just kind of are saying, "I'm surprised by what I'm witnessing."
Yeah, it expresses a bit of a sense of disbelief too,
Exactly.
right?
Yes. Shock
Yeah,
and disbelief and frustration, all of those emotions.
yeah,
We
those are
really
all
don't use
happening.
these for positive things, right?
No, no.
What is happening? There are so many great movies in the theater. No, right? We
No.
just don't really use them. Instead, we'd be like, that's awesome.
Yes, exactly. Or number 5, a little less common, is this real life? So I don't really say this, but you might say this, Aubrey. Is this
I
one of your
do, and I hear my
trademarks?
kids
Okay.
say it, and I'm
Yeah.
hearing it more and more like in podcasts. I feel like this is very trendy and new.
Ah,
Someone might
okay.
say, I can't believe he said that. Is this real life? Like,
Right.
especially if you hear someone say something inappropriate or maybe racist, you'd be like, is this real life? You're like, are people really behaving this way? I'm really shocked.
And here's a slightly higher level sentence, which is very natural. I
Mm,
was shocked when I heard that. I was like, is this real life? Right. So here I'm reporting my thoughts, right? Which is a higher level skill, but
yes.
a very common one. And we need to know this to have that conversation with native speakers, right?
Yes, we teach this in some of our courses. Narrating speech, especially in the past, there are so many
Mhm.
phrases we do this to use to do this very naturally.
Yes. And the next one, am I taking crazy pills?
I
Okay.
love
New one
this.
for me too. New one
Is
for me
it? You
too.
haven't heard this one?
Kind
This
of.
is also trendy, newer, but I'm hearing it a lot. It's definitely being like adopted
Okay.
into the vernacular. It's not just teenagers saying it.
Okay.
You might
Good.
hear, I couldn't believe what I heard. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. And it's just another way of saying, like, I'm shocked. I'm extremely surprised, but a really fun way to say that.
Now I have something to say when I
Yeah,
read the news. That's great.
exactly. That's perfect. Yeah.
Or the next one. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Nothing makes sense today. Okay,
Yes,
great.
we're hearing
These
this
are
more and more in the US with like divisive politics and
Mhm.
whichever side you're on, you might feel like you're taking crazy pills because it almost seems like we're living in different realities from people
Yeah.
who disagree with us. It's really
Mhm.
interesting.
For sure. So, and it really does it's important to have something to say, right? When
Yes.
something's going on, and it also reduces your own stress when you have something to say, right? We can articulate some of our feelings can kind of come out through our words. That's important for to reduce our
Yes.
stress, right?
And it is important to point out that these all have sort of different levels of extremeness. So, like,
Mhm.
what gives is much less, is just kind of like a little bit shocked, right? I wouldn't
Yeah.
say, I can't believe she's late again. Am I taking crazy pills? No, that doesn't make sense because this one's much more extreme for something that is extremely shocking,
Okay.
extremely surprising. So, these do all
Mhm.
have context, just more about the severity of shock to know.
Mm.
So pay attention to the examples we gave so you can know like when they're appropriate depending on how shocked you are.
Good to know and so
Yeah.
important, right? We
Yeah.
don't wanna have our tone off, and we know that at the B2C1 level for our listeners, you don't want your tone to be wrong. It has to be right. It has to mesh with the conversation, right?
Exactly.
Love it. Okay, Aubrey, role play time. Here we are talking about something surprising that happened to us. Okay?
Yes. And this is
Good.
going to give you a chance to hear a lot of that reported speech, reporting,
Mhm.
narrating thoughts.
Mm,
So let's do it.
okay.
I will start us out. Then she started yelling at me, and I was like, what is happening right now?
It was really confusing. I wasn't sure what to do. I just stood there thinking, "What is going on?"
Yeah, you missed a lot of what happened. It was crazy.
I was so shocked because when I walked in, she was just yelling. I was like, "Is this real life? Am I taking crazy pills?" Oh my gosh, this felt
Nice.
so natural.
It's so natural. This is when you'll hear these the most often. When
Yeah.
you are telling a story of something that was very shocking and
Mhm.
surprising, we will
Mhm.
use these maybe to exaggerate a little, or maybe just to be accurate about how crazy something seemed, how shocking it
Yes.
seemed.
I love it. So good, so good. So where did we use our key phrases? What did we
I
say?
started first. I said, then she started yelling at me, and I was like, what is happening right now? So we use
Mhm.
this one. What is happening or what is going on to say it
Yes.
to, especially to share, like, and all I'm saying is I was really surprised by what I
Yeah.
was hearing, by what I was seeing.
But you've got so much life in the voice, so much intonation, so much energy that you bring the person into that
Yes.
situation,
It
right? I
definitely
guess
makes
we
the
both
story
experienced.
much more interesting.
Mhm. Yes, very important. And again, then I said, I just stood there thinking, what is going on? And Aubrey, I think we could do another episode on how to change our intonation when we go into reporting our thoughts. I
I
just
love
stood there
that. Yes.
thinking, there's a little bit of a hang there. I'm hanging over that. There's a comma when I look at my
And
notes here, right?
mhm.
That would be a great episode, wouldn't
And
it?
you need to vary your intonation because if you
Mhm.
said this with a monotone, I was like,
Mhm.
"What is happening right now?" That would be kind of strange. Some people are a little more deadpan than that, but
Right.
usually you need varied intonation. I love that idea, Lindsay. So be sure to hit follow, guys, for the follow-up. That'll be
That's a
good.
great one. Yeah, and then you said, "Yeah, you missed a lot of what happened. It was crazy," right? And then what did I say?
You
I put
said, "Yeah,
2
I
of
was
them in here.
shocked." I
Mhm.
walked in and she was yelling. I was like, "Is this real life? Am I taking crazy pills?" And sometimes we'll
Mhm.
stack them like that to exaggerate how
Stack
surprised
them.
we were, right?
Yeah, I love that idea of stacking, different comments on
Mhm.
top of each other, 2, 3 of them,
Yes.
could just make it more emphatic, right?
Exactly, you totally could have said, "What is happening? Is this real life? Am I taking crazy pills?" And all of that is emphasizing even more how shocking it was.
All right, good. I feel like this is a very timely episode because we could all use these phrases for, who knows what, but,
Shocking
um,
conversations we're a
Aubrey.
part of or hearing or seeing in the
Yes,
news.
whatever is going on. Now we have the resources as a global community. We have
Love
the
it.
resources to express our feelings a little bit, right? Any other takeaway for today, Aubrey?
Yeah, I think this goes back to if you're going to tell a story of something shocking that happened, make the
Mhm.
most of it, right? I
Yeah.
love telling stories. If I tell this story, I'm going to use these. If I tell any story, I'm going to use
Yes.
these phrases to draw in the listener to make it more fun and interesting. And so,
Yes.
I think people are excited when I start telling a story because it makes it fun. It makes it entertaining, even if I'm exaggerating a little bit.
I love it. Really good. All right, guys, hit the follow button for more great episodes from All Ears English, and we'll be back soon. Right, Aubrey?
Yes, see you next time.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.